ladies and gentlemen,
Hello.
and welcome to Dish Gods.
Welcome.
I am Little Bear, and as always, I am joined with my other host,
Max.
It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you. This is Dish Gods. We're here to dish on anything and pretty much everything.
Yeah, damn right, everything.
Yeah. Last week we got a little intense with some Trump action.
Yeah, we got a little heavy with it.
Talked about some animal genocide. We also talked to Spud Goodman. If that's interests you at all, go back and check it out. It was actually a pretty good interview. Just there's so much going on in the world today.
Yeah, way too much going on.
Every
so much is
5
happening
seconds.
so fast.
Yeah, like I can't keep up with anything that's happening with the government. So I think this week let's take a break from that.
From everything.
Let's just step away. Let's have some escapism.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we try to escape through drugs and alcohol, but let's let the good people who have some clean vices escape through this podcast.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about something that we are pretty much certified experts in.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say let's escape far away.
Nice, very, very nice. This week we are talking about one thing
and one thing only.
We are talking about aliens.
Aliens?
Ancient, modern, and in between. Just getting right up in there. We're going to talk.
Yeah, and we mean space aliens, people.
Yeah.
Not
illegal aliens.
Yeah. Not Earth aliens.
Yeah, we're talking
real aliens.
Extraterrestrials.
Thank you.
This kind of came about because they being the science community recently discovered a new solar system, TRAPPIST-1, that has 7 Earth.
Trap House 1?
Yes. They have about 7 Earth-like planets, I believe.
Correct.
They're all very rocky, which is the first thing I think of when I think of Earth. But yeah, they believe this might be it. This might be like our second home away from home, right?
That would be nice. Yeah. That's hopefully their plan. You know, they got to study Mars a little more.
Yeah, but there's 7 planets there ripe for the taking. I mean, some of them are not super great. They're too close to the sun, or they orbit too fast, or whatever. But yeah, we've got 7 planets. Hopefully one works out. And then what was the thing about Mars? Mars had some water on it or something.
Yeah,
right?
they said it was recent water,
which could mean anything.
So in the time of space, that could be millions of years ago, thousands of years ago. Who knows?
Yeah, really. But yeah, so we kind of just thought, let's take some inspiration and let's really dive deep into the alien side of things.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's
grab your shovels, grab your picks. We're going digging.
I have a question for you and everybody at home.
Well, fire away.
Do you believe
in aliens?
Or just
you're going Fox Mulder on me? Yeah. Do I believe? Of course I believe.
Truth is out there. So let's find it together. Let's go all the way back. Let's go as far back as we can. Let's like ancient aliens.
Ancient, like Jesus Christ times?
Before that.
Oh, before him?
Even like pre-JC.
Okay.
Do you? I think we've touched upon ancient aliens before.
Yeah.
But
so for you listeners at home, check out episode 3.
Yeah.
The Crayola conspiracy.
But we did that very condensed. This time we're just really opening it up, really stretching it out. Do you believe in ancient aliens?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, me too. Did you see the show, Ancient Aliens?
Ancient Aliens? Yeah. I've tried actually contacting George. I can't pronounce his last name. Everyone knows him. More commonly referred to as Crazy Hair.
Oh, yes. I love his hair.
So I've tried reaching out to him a couple of times to actually come on this show. He gave us the big league.
Yeah, everybody's doing that nowadays.
But I do subscribe to the ancient alien theory.
I mean,
but not as intensely. I do have some
hang-ups.
Yeah.
What are your hang-ups? Because I pretty much am 100% behind it.
There are just some things that are a little too off the wall for me.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, I do.
I mean, because if you look at some of the evidence that they offer, I mean, I'll strictly reference the show here. Some of the evidence that they offer, like the hieroglyphs with planes and helicopters and submarines in them.
Yeah,
Some of the ones where there's people wearing spacesuits.
Yeah, a lot of the artifacts, even what's actually more commonly ignored, I should say, like obviously ancient Egypt. That's like a very well studied, documented area and place for archaeologists and scientists and other people to go to and research. But South America and Central America,
yes, the Mayans,
that is a hotbed for what, like you said, they may not have like the hieroglyphic type things, but they're artifacts that were left behind. A lot of them, like you said, they resemble airplanes and helicopters and people in spacesuits and things like that. And it's like, one, where did they get this idea? But two, a lot of their things resemble other cultures around the world. So it's like, apparently, according to, scientists and historians, they go, well, these people never had contact with each other.
How did they come up with the same idea?
Exactly. It's like, at what point does it stop being a coincidence and become fact?
Yeah, and I mean, because I believe there's kind of this thing, I believe it's called the steam engine mindset or something, but it's like people around the world kind of discovered steam technology at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it was being developed in America and in Europe and in other locations at like the exact same time, which is kind of weird. And so I believe in that kind of like psychic energy. And I think like, there's another theory that human beings, we used to have a psychic ability.
Yeah.
And we lost that.
They talk about that all the time on Ancient Aliens.
And we lost that after, being able to communicate a little bit more efficiently with phones and things like that. And I think that, that was what was going on, and maybe, there were aliens visiting these different cultures and tribes or whatever you want to call them. And, they visit a tribe in South Africa and they were like, oh, there's a spaceman. And then the same aliens can zip over in 5 minutes and see somebody in South America and be like, oh yeah, we're space aliens. And then they draw the same thing. But it is pretty crazy to think that thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago that these cultures there are legit, I won't even talk about like the models that they've built of like, where they found like the tiny little sculptures of planes.
Right.
But like there's legit drawings of airplanes. They're just airplanes.
Yeah.
They look like Boeing 757s. And it's like, that's fucking crazy that there was a time period between some cave person drawing on a cave wall and like the Wright brothers where nobody else had that idea. There was a good couple thousand years.
Yeah,
where,
look at the Dark Ages,
Yeah, like nobody in the medieval times was probably like, other than like Da Vinci because he was a supervillain. But
even Da Vinci couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
Have you seen like a lot of his? He called the helicopter the aerial screw. By the way, let's just get that out of the way.
That has to. Oh my god,
aerial
so
screw.
Amazing. I want to name my kid that. Yeah, it is really interesting to kind of look at it and think about how that probably impacted a lot of things. If you like, I really, really like Egyptian culture and history. Like, I think that American history is the most dull, boring thing you could ever talk about. There's nothing interesting about American history.
Well, yeah, that, and it's so recent.
It's so recent. It's so racist.
Yeah.
It's just all rape and pillaging. It's like snooze fest. But I find Egyptian culture really fascinating, and I find the history behind it really, really cool. If you look at all of their shit, like, explain to me what an Anubis is. It's a dog man.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me that's not some alien shit? Let's look at like their worship of cats, and the Sphinx. Are you fucking kidding me? This whole like Scooby-Doo even covered it.
Yeah.
It's alien shit.
Well, who were the I'm drawing a blank on their name right now. They were actually before the Egyptians. Really prominent culture. They were one of the largest ones on the planet before the rise of the Egyptians.
It's like the Incas, but it's not.
Mesopotamia?
Yes, I think that is.
Is that the one?
Mesopotamia is South America, though.
No, Mesopotamia is.
We'll say it's Mesopotamia, and then if it's not, we'll edit it. We'll edit something.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not.
We'll just call it Mesopotamia.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't remember their names right now, but they their artifacts too, they were written in like Sanskrit and things like that.
Yeah.
And their version of hieroglyphs and rock carvings, they showed depictions of men, men type people, like creatures, humanoid. Thank you. But they stood well above everyone else. They were easily 9 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Giants among men, And the thing is they claimed that these entities came from the stars, but they actually came here to enslave the human race. When they came down here, they said that we were uncivilized and we were basically, just like monkeys on 2 feet fighting each other. So they gave us culture and gave us civilization in exchange to work for them. And then, so what we did is we mined their gold, we mined their silver, because, gold, as everyone knows, or you should know, gold is an excellent conductor of electricity. It is really great at blocking radiation, and it's excellent at dissipating heat. Yeah. So if you have some kind of a spaceship or anything that travels at relatively high speeds,
gold would be a good thing to
gold is what you need.
Yeah.
And earlier, the early history of our planet, gold was very abundant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was sitting on the surface. You didn't really have to dig for gold. So
before it became, jewelry and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a resource. You were telling me something interesting. We'll kind of leap ahead in the timeline here. We were kind of talking about, like, kind of the Middle Ages Norse mythology about, like, elves and
Norse
gnomes.
mythology.
Yeah, and how, like, gnomes and elves were basically aliens.
Yeah, the dwarves and the elves. So I don't know too much about this. I heard this kind of secondhand from our good friend Ricky. Mm-hmm. He told me that the Norse mythology, basically, when it comes to aliens, like if you're kind of paralleling the stories here between aliens and Norse mythology, is that dwarves were essentially aliens because they would hide in mountains, right? So what better place to hide your ship or hide what you're doing,
maybe
is
the bottom of a lake,
hollow out a mountain,
a castle.
Well, that's different. Those are different species of aliens. We'll get into that really soon.
Let's take a turn real quick.
Okay.
I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Lochness Monster.
Oh shit.
Is that some alien shit or is that just dinosaur? Do you believe in the Lochness Monster, I guess, is my first question.
It's, I want to say 80% yes and 20% no.
Okay. Do you think it's an alien or do you think it's like a dinosaur?
I think it's a reminiscent creature.
Okay.
Something that was like trapped and left behind and somehow managed to continue to breed offspring, so it became like this weird inbred creature.
Wow.
Because I mean, Loch Ness, there's no inlet, right? It's a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just like some weird inbred creature, because there are some kind of an eel, I believe, that lives in lake.
There is something there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I saw something about a year ago, like Loch Ness kind of blew up because they like found a thing that they're like, oh, it's a Loch Ness Monster. Then it was a hoax.
Yeah.
But
typical.
There's got to be something in there.
On the same note there, how do you feel about Bigfoot?
Oh, man.
I mean, we are in the Northwest here. Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
I don't really.
That's a staple.
I don't really think about Bigfoot that often, as much as I do, Nessie. But I had to imagine that I would not be surprised.
The great wood ape.
Yeah. Bigfoot to me is boring, though. Like, if the news came out, it was like, oh, we caught Bigfoot, I'd be like, and? Can he do anything? And I would feel bad. I would be like, what are we going to do? We're going to fucking throw him in a fucking cage and study him. Mm-hmm. Bigfoot and his little footlings deserve to run free.
Yeah, like they have been.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just like Bigfoot to me is like fucking boring as shit. Like, there's not a lot of mystery there. It's like he's like half Neanderthal, half monkey or bear or whatever, and it's like,
well,
okay.
It depends on who you talk to. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's some Native American tribes. I believe either up here in the northwest region, or just like what is like the western United States. Yeah. I don't know tribe, territories or anything like that, so I'm not going to dive into that. But some of them believe that like Sasquatch, or like the Sasquatch being, is actually an evil spirit that haunts the woods, and like if you are out like after dark, it'll catch you.
It'll get you,
and that's not a good thing. You don't want to be caught by this thing.
He's not gonna take you and give you back rubs. No siree. Well, on that kind of note, what about El Chupacabra? Because I'm from the Southwest, and El Chupacabra is pretty notorious down there.
Yeah, I think that's just a case of mistaken identity.
Really? You don't believe in like the actual demon entity known as the Chupacabra?
Nah, that one I gotta say big no.
We're gonna bust that myth.
Yep.
I don't know. I think the Chupacabra.
I mean, you can believe whatever you want. I'm not gonna dog you for it. Well, I mean, we're talking about fucking aliens right now, dude.
I just think that like if Bigfoot exists, Chupacabra exists. They're kind of interconnected.
You think Nessie exists?
I know it exists.
Like a fucking brontosaurus.
Yeah, brontosaurus / seal.
I don't even know how to mash that up.
like those two animals together. I think Nessie exists, and if Bigfoot exists, the Chupacabra has to exist.
All right. Well,
I think those are the like if we're gonna live in this world, those are the rules we have to operate by.
All right. Well, Max has decreed this.
I have said, thus it is so. By my word, it is spoken. Make it so.
All right. We'll do that. We'll get right on that for you.
But back to the topic at hand. It's kind of interesting to think about the like medieval times and mythology in general, with things like dragons and goblins, elves, gnomes. And even Norse mythology in general, there's a lot of creatures like the Hydra, the Cerberus, whatever. It's kind of an interesting concept to throw aliens in that kind of thing and make that question of what if Zeus existed and he was an extraterrestrial?
Well, that's kind of what I was trying to get at with that first, the first race I was talking about, Mesopotamians or whatever. I can't remember their name.
Mesopotamians with an asterisk.
Yeah, asterisk. They were the first ones really to show and depict people like hybrid, like chimera type beings.
Yeah.
Humans with eagle heads or cat heads, dogs with, bird heads, whatever you want, like mix and match.
Yeah.
And their writings actually spoke quite openly about, hey, I talked to this person today, and they refer to them as people. Yeah. They're not like some being or entity. They talk to them like, hey, like I'm talking to you right now. And it was just like no big deal. Yeah. Like, hey, I talked to Joe the other day. Never mind the fact he's a half man, half dog.
And he came from the stars in a fiery Xbox.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is pretty crazy. It is, to me, it's a necessary question, I think, if you want to talk about the existence of aliens, to throw it in, especially with like Greek mythology and all that, with Hercules and Zeus. And
yeah, totally.
I think I miscorrectly called it Norse. But
like the Greeks
mythology and all of that. I think if you throw the question of aliens in there, that kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. Of like, what if all of them were alien beings? Hercules being the strong man that he was, perhaps he was an alien who had the ability of super strength. Maybe like Zeus himself could harness the power of electricity. That's some alien shit right there.
Look at Thor, his hammer.
Yeah, and I've long believed that there are some animals on our planet that are the result of alien DNA or alien experimentation.
Like making hybrids?
Kind of like look at like eels, right?
Okay.
Here's an animal, right, that lives deep in the ocean. Doesn't have, as far as we know, doesn't have a concept of our society, of our world, of our use of electricity. But it has that power. It can shock you with legitimate electricity.
Yeah, and it hurts too.
That's
and
fucking
it'll fucking
crazy.
kill you.
That's fucking crazy that there is a living organism on this planet that can do something that we cannot do, that we cannot harness. It's not even a natural thing. Electricity is a chemical reaction.
Can I just stop you for a second? So the asterisk that we put on there, the culture I was looking for was Sumerian.
Sumerian.
They are from Mesopotamia, but it was the Sumerians.
All right, so we're like half
you.
right. But yeah, like there's like jellyfish that are like immortal.
Oh,
there's like immortal jellyfish, and like if you just look at a fucking jellyfish in general, like it's fucking weird. Octopi, you know about my thing with octopi,
dude. I don't like them, man.
Octopi are some alien shit.
Have you seen the vampire squid?
Oh my god, so it just sounds. No, I'm not. I'm never gonna see it. But like, if you also look at like chameleons, holy fucking shit. Are you kidding me? That right there is proof enough to me that aliens exist. The fact that there is an organism on Earth that you want to call it like an Earth-bred evolutionary thing, like whatever, but the fact that there's like a thing on this planet that, as far as like I would say, doesn't have a concept, doesn't share the same conceptual understanding of color as humans would.
As we do?
Yeah. It can be like, oh, I'm on this leaf, it's green, I should be green. Oh, I'm on this thing and it's blue, I should turn blue. And I know it's not like that, like precise, but it's still fucking crazy that it can do
they
that.
get really close.
Yeah, or like, and like even just to reel it back, even look at like fucking tigers. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's a tiger? A tiger's a thing with stripes, and I mean, like, that's the most like low fucking example I can give. But if you really want to look at it, it's just fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, animals are fucking insane, and like I count humans as part of those animals. If you look at the diversity that exists on our fucking planet alone, it's like there's some shit going on. You know, like, and Ancient Aliens actually talked about how Noah's Ark was actually like an alien.
Yeah, that was an alien ship
coming down and saying, "Give us the DNA of all these creatures, so that way, in case some shit goes down, we have it."
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened, or maybe it was a swap where they're like, "Hey, give us this, and we'll give you some," and that's how we got jellyfish and the Loch-Ness Monster and Bigfoot and tigers.
That seems reasonable. I mean, why not? You know, a little give and take.
Yeah, exactly.
A little extraterrestrial give and take.
Yeah, advancement of our society. Maybe they gave us wolves and dogs and showed us how
dogs
to
have
domesticate them.
Been around. You know, they've been a human partner for
years.
Millennia, you know,
decades,
literally
tens of decades have gone into the evolution of dogs. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy if you really kind of look at it. And you know, even if you want to go back to medieval times, I mean, look at some of the paintings that were done. You know, there's not many, but there's always the popular ones that the TV shows. Yeah.
You know, Ancient Malians, they'll point out, you know, like Da Vinci, he has a couple that he painted in there, and I think it was it was painted in France, but it was a depiction of Bethlehem, I believe it was, and what was supposed to have been the star leading Joseph and Mary was actually in a ship.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see, like, why would someone, even in the Dark Ages, paint something like that?
Oh yeah.
Or even in the Bible, when Ezekiel died in the Bible, he's the only prophet to have died, or not have died, but leave the planet. He left the book entirely without dying. He's the only prophet in the Bible to have done that.
Yeah.
And when he did, it says that God came down on a flaming chariot and carried him away. And when artists in the ancient times depicted this, they Drew.
God on like a fucking rad surfboard.
Yeah, kind of like the Silver Surfer.
Coming down. He's like, "What's up, dudes? Like,
Get on, bro."
Like a Capri Sun ad.
No, but they depicted this by like a flaming wheel within a wheel within a wheel. You know, it's like gears rotating over each other.
Yeah.
But he's the only prophet to have not died in the Bible, but to have left and ascended the planet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Bible also
And
talks
it's like,
about,
are you serious? Are you literally kidding me right now? Like most diehard Christians will say, I do not believe in aliens because aliens don't exist.
Yeah.
But yet, at the very beginning of the Bible, it says God created all things.
Mm-hmm.
All things.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way. All things.
All things.
So all things is all encompassing, meaning aliens.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like evidence to back up too, like angels could be
Oh,
aliens.
dude, I
could be
totally-
celestial beings, and I've never been able to find it. Maybe I'll try to actually find it. I'll try to drop it somewhere on the episode. There's a part of the Bible that talks about like a nuclear war. It talks about fire raining down from the heavens. And
Oh,
it
you
very
were
accurately
speaking of
describes-
when God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, that nuclear war, ancient technology.
Yes. So when he destroyed Sodom, I believe it was, he saved the wife or the daughters and the husband or whatever his name was, and he told them, when you leave the city, don't look back.
Don't look.
You know what happens when you look at a nuclear blast?
Your eyes melt.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll fucking get cooked from the inside out. And whatever's left of you, if you get hit by the blast from a distance, you know, it won't vaporize you.
You can get radiation sickness.
Either that, or if you're close enough but far enough away to not hit the initial blast, the radiation will like cook your skin, but then you could essentially like fuse to whatever you're around, right?
Yeah.
So when she turned into a pillar of salt, that's what they saw. She didn't literally turn into a pillar of salt.
She
lame
like as shit.
Fused into
Yeah.
something else. Like her bones formed in like, you know.
Well, it's kind of like with Mount Vesuvius when that erupted and the whole ash thing happened. You know, the whole ash thing.
Like the
and
people
like,
getting
turned to stone. And
Right,
like that.
right.
That's what I kind of think happened. I know that doesn't happen with a nuclear blast, but you know, this is alien technology.
It totally does. Have you seen the shadows of Hiroshima?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate victims that were in the direct line of the blast. They were vaporized almost instantly from the blast.
Yeah.
But their
left behind
their
those-
body, like they were up against a brick wall, and their bones were like, essentially it was like when you do like a pencil, like you take a piece of paper and a pencil, and you shave it over the top, and you get that chalk outline. Essentially, that's what happens.
Interesting. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will come right back with more alien shit. Thanks for sticking around. Hey, do you like podcasts?
I do.
You're probably listening to one right now.
I am.
Yeah, and you're probably listening to it on YouTube
Yeah, I am.
like a fucking loser.
Aw.
Did you know that our show is on multiple platforms?
Which ones? Tell me.
We are on iTunes, Stitcher,
I have iTunes.
and Google Play. Well, if you're on iTunes, you should get out of your fucking house and listen to it on iTunes. Go to the gym because you know what? Summer's coming up. You want to get that beach bod going,
Yeah.
right? You want to look fucking smoldering at the beach. So listen to us on other platforms, subscribe and rate because that really helps get our show some attention. And if you do, we'll shout you out. Just like Melanie B, who rated our show 5 stars and commented, "Good shit, guys. This isn't a fake review." Thanks a lot, Melanie B.
Thanks, Melanie.
Yeah, so you could be a hero like Melanie
Or be a zero.
and not listen to our show. I mean, you can listen to it on YouTube. We're not condoning that, but yeah, you can also listen to us on other platforms that we mentioned: Google Play, Stitcher, and iTunes, and subscribe and rate us and help the show grow a little bit. And we can shout you out, give a little, give and take. And
Give some love.
Yeah,
Give us some love. We'll give you some love.
yeah, lots
Extra
of
love.
Really, really soft and slow and serene and sensual.
Yeah.
Yeah, so feel free to listen to us on any of those platforms. We are about to get right back into the episode, so thank you for listening. Got a question for you.
I might have an answer.
Do you think that Jesus H. Christ is an alien?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, healing the sick, giving
Turning
vision to the blind,
Leopards
turning
into
water.
leopards into fish.
Yeah, giving leopards their spots.
Water into fish, wine into bread.
Yeah, you got it.
And then, I believe maybe he might have had some powers of mind control.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, look, he had followers.
He couldn't do it when they were nailing him to the cross, unfortunately, but...
That's when his powers got weak.
Oh,
maybe the mothership was granting him powers, and the mothership went a little too far away.
They're like, hey, fuck this shit. We're out of here.
Like they're like, we're going to crucify him. And they're like, oh, shit, this is kind of getting a little crazy.
Oh, man, they're serious.
Let's bounce. And
should we go back and get him? Nah, fuck it.
Jesus is like, Glornak, what's up? And they're like, yo, dog, like, we'll be back. Like, this is just getting really
Just ride
heavy.
this out for a second. Yeah. We'll be right back.
And then he was in the fucking tomb, and they were like, and then like they woke him up, and he was like, took you guys fucking long enough. I've been here for like 3 fucking days.
So he died. He really died. So they used their tech to resurrect him. Essentially, like a defibrillator, right?
Yeah.
Like pumped in new blood, kind of like clear.
Yeah.
Fucking took him out, and he wakes up, and yeah, he's like, oh, fucking took you guys long enough, Jesus.
Yeah. And then he comes out.
I mean, me.
Yeah. Oh, me. Yeah. And then he walks out of the tomb, and he's like, all of you are assholes. Peace out. And then he goes back in the mothership and leaves. Like, yeah, it makes sense.
And now he left us behind to, worship,
do our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I super believe that Jesus is like an alien, and it's like we said, like angels are aliens, and angels and Jesus are usually like pretty hand in hand as like a gang.
Angels and demons?
Yeah, well, I don't know so much about demons, but like angels and Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
sorry.
like they're all kind of like on one level of like, oh, we're all like these celestial beings. I wouldn't put it past the universe to give us a super chill alien who like gives leopard spots and things like that.
Suh, bro.
But yeah, kind of fast forwarding. Let's talk about the government.
In what aspect?
Every aspect that relates to aliens.
Okay.
So I'm talking every world government.
So
and aliens.
Let's start off with the Blue Berets.
Blue Berets.
Max,
like
lead us. Take us away.
Yeah. So the Blue Berets, if you don't know, they're a secret military team. I guess you could call them
paramilitary.
Yeah, something like that. Like they're like a special ops team, and they basically run around the globe and clean up nuclear reactors that have been destroyed by extraterrestrials.
Can you name any reactors that have been damaged or destroyed? Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm. Chernobyl is the result of alien tampering.
Okay.
Because alien, like, what in this theory, whatever aliens are becoming involved are peaceful aliens. They're the kind of aliens that came down. They're like ancient aliens that came down and they were like, look, our planet was destroyed. We messed up. So we're here to like tell you guys like maybe just chill. Just relax.
Try not to do this
and
for a
so
second.
They saw us kind of, during the Cold War and things like that. They saw us kind of getting heated, kind of getting pissy. They're like, shit, dude, they've got this like nuclear technology and like that's way too early for them. They don't know how to handle it. So they'll be like, let's blow that one up. That one doesn't look like we should blow this up. So they destroyed Chernobyl. The Blue Berets come in, they clean it up, they get rid of sometimes it's like a kamikaze mission. Like some of the aliens don't have the technology to like destroy it. So they have to just drive their fucking ship into the actual reactor,
okay,
and just destroy it. So they have to come in, they clean out all the debris, they take away the corpses and whatever alien remnants might be there.
Do you have a theory as to why the government or governments of the world don't want us to know about aliens or alien involvement?
Absolutely.
Let's hear it.
I think that it's like, well, there's like, I have at least 2. My first one that won't get me locked up is that it's just like, it's such a sensitive thing. Maybe there's a deal between the aliens and the government of like, keep our existence secret and we'll kind of help you guys develop new military technology. I believe the Department of Defense is heavily involved in alien technology.
You know, so touching on that aspect, I just got to say this. So to me, when I hear something like that, when they say, "Hey, you know, I'm an alien," like speaking from the alien's perspective now, like, "Hey, Mr. Earthling, I'm going to make a deal with you. I want to chill on this planet and like kind of orbit it, you know. I won't cause you any harm, but I want you to keep your people in the dark about my presence. In exchange, I will give you technology to help advance your people."
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the people on Earth are going to be like, "Holy shit, like, yeah, dude, that's great. We need new tech. That's going to be awesome." But to me, like, all I can imagine is this alien reaching into like his kid's toy box and like grabbing a fucking like Fisher Price toy, essentially, like their equivalent of a Fisher Price toy, and being like, yeah, here, reverse engineer that, right? And then we're like, "Oh my god, it's a weapon."
Yeah.
No, it teaches their preschoolers how to count to 5.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, they're probably like, "Here's this new thing." And we're like, "Oh, fucking touch screens." You know, they're like, "Here's new technology, like smart toasters." Like, we don't have any idea how to utilize it. Like, we probably have the equipment to make like flying cars and like completely solar power our planet. But we're just like, let's make fucking iPhone 10s. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, so I think like that's one of the things. And the other thing I think, you know, and this is like give or take, is that the government themselves are secret aliens. You know, you can talk.
Oh, like they're in excuse me, in the government themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you had a theory about Men in Black.
Yeah. Well, the Men in Black aren't actually men. They are androids.
Oh shit, they're androids?
Yeah.
Androids are cyborgs. What's the correct term there? Is it android?
Well,
what's this like? There's like a little going from DBZ because they must be androids.
Okay, so android would be a robot that resembles human.
Yeah.
Like almost to the T. So it would have realistic flesh. It would bleed. It would have hair, you know, eyes,
skin,
organic skin, you know, things like that. A cyborg would be like a blend of like a cyborg would be more of like a human meets machine.
Okay.
So like a cyborg from the DC universe.
Yeah.
Think of him.
Okay.
So you're like a human.
The androids from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So think of it that way, and you almost got it down.
Okay. Okay. So Men in Black are androids.
Yeah.
So Will Smith is an android.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Sorry, Will.
Putting you on blast.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of firsthand accounts from people that have claimed to have had encounters with the Men in Black. They claim that they are expressionless. They have no hair. You know, which is, you know, obviously, you know, a lot of people don't have hair. You know, you can have alopecia. You know, you don't have hair.
Sense. Like, it's hard
to
make.
The thing is when they arrive, they're always quiet.
Yeah.
They make no noise. And they almost know exactly when something's going to happen. So like one instance, I can't remember exactly when, but a man claimed to have saw a UFO.
Okay.
He calls his friend and he says, "Hey man, like I just saw some crazy shit. I'm going to go out there and check it out." And on his way out of his house, he's approached by 2 men in black, like coming up to his car and saying, "You aren't going to go out there." And he was on the phone with his friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how did these guys intercept this phone call that quick and happen to be outside of his house at the time? You know, and it's just every time anyone encounters them, they always say the same thing. It's 2 guys that almost look identical with no eyebrows, no facial hair, expressionless, and like their eyes are like dark.
Yeah.
They have no, like, it's just pupil. There's no color.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I mean, I think that there's some shit there. I think that I would find it really hard to believe that there's just not something else on our planet.
Yeah,
whether it be
definitely.
androids or aliens or cyborgs or goblins or demons or bears. Oh my! Now there's got to be something. You know?
Speaking of something, you said you were interested in a creature of the flying variety.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dragons.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We can hop back. Well, I mean, it's kind of like the same animal argument. It's like, dragons. If you look at it, like we had pterodactyls on our planet for a bit, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it's that far fetched to think that dragons might have existed on our planet. If we have immortal jellyfish and animals that can harness the power of electricity, I wouldn't be like, think it's so crazy to have flying lizards that can breathe fire. Am I the only one? I mean, look at like, and then you have the at least the two that I know of, you have like wyverns, which are like kind of like the more European, Anglo-Saxon version of dragons. Then you have like the Middle Eastern and Eastern dragons of like the Chinese and things like that.
Yeah, the Chinese and the Japanese dragons, to me, are actually quite terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, they're like giant snakes
with almost human faces.
And then there are the ones that have like the more like rectangular,
like
snouts.
Very boxy faces.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, would it be so crazy to think that like on our planet we've had, dinosaurs and electric eels, immortal jellyfish, flying lizards that breathe fire? Fits in the fucking mold, right?
Kind of does, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's not like a huge fucking thing like the Men in Black, but it's like, I just think I love dragons. I've always loved dragons since I was a wee lad, and I just can't live in a world where they may not have ever existed. like we're talking about resurrecting woolly man. Let's like fuck that shit. Find some dragon DNA. Let's make that shit happen.
Yeah, I'm behind that.
But yeah, I mean, kind of looking ahead. I think I saw something about the government is thinking about exploring space again.
I hope
trying
they
to
do.
visit the moon again.
Yeah.
I mean, for what? I don't know. I don't know what they're hoping to find up there, but it'll be.
I hope, it's not really to find anything on the moon per se, but I hope it's for more of how do we establish like a solid building up here? How do we get from point A to point B? Because that really, like, if we can use that as a launching pad,
like a way station.
Yeah, essentially, to go from the Earth to the moon, chill there for a little bit, and then
fuel up, get ready,
bounce off the moon and go to wherever. You can cut some time and fuel cost of liftoff substantially.
Well, kind of going away from the alien thing just for a grip. It always has bothered me that certain things in this world like cost money. Like, and I understand the economics of it, but it's like Hurricane Katrina. That's just the first thing that popped in my head, right? Hurricane Katrina happens, and it's like, oh, these people need their houses built. We need money. It's like, we can't just do it. You can't just, like, the government, like, the world around can just be like, oh, let's just do it. It's like, no, we have to buy these resources. We have to go and do all, like, I understand hiring people and, like, getting the labor done.
Yeah.
But it's like, we can't just, like space, like, right now it's like, oh, hey, we really should try to go to space and really try to figure out, like, interstellar farming and things like that. So that way, like, when the time comes, we're not like, oh, shit, we're fucked. It's like, we can't just, like, do that. We need to get, like, billions of dollars to just buy some fucking fuel. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and that's the thing is greed.
Yeah.
I think greed is one of the things that is really holding us back.
Absolutely.
As a species.
Absolutely.
We could advance much farther than we are right now if it weren't for money.
Oh my God.
Oh,
that's a conversation for another day. I don't want to ruin
definitely.
It. But let's look forward. Space travel.
To the future.
I mean, SpaceX is a thing. When's that supposed to be launching?
Oh no. I don't know when it's going to be launching, but they actually successfully launched and landed their rocket.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I didn't hear about
they
that.
launched a rocket, which is easy to do. Anyone can do. A child can buy a rocket at your local supermarket and launch it. But the big thing is now your child may be able to launch the rocket, but when it comes back down in what? A parachute.
Mm-hmm.
SpaceX has done this so they can launch the rocket, goes up, and it comes back down like just in the same fashion that it went up.
That's pretty crazy.
And it managed to go up and back down onto the same launch pad.
Did it go out of the atmosphere?
You know, I don't know the exact measurements about how high it went up.
Okay, I'll assume it didn't.
But yeah, it went a fuck ton high up because it was a massive rocket.
Yeah.
They had to use it was NASA's launch pad, and it was the launch pad that they launched the first moon exploration mission off of.
Oh, okay.
So it's a massive launch pad.
Yeah.
It's legit. It was a big rocket.
Right on. Yeah, so I mean, you know, space travel, all that. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, Mars is kind of on the horizon. What are the chances that you think that we're going to find life on some of these planets?
Are you talking define life? Because
I mean, okay,
like microscopic life, or are you talking
microscopic
like
bacteria
on Mars,
like Mars, or those planets over on TRAPPIST 1? What are the chances that you think we're going to find life? I mean, it'll take us like a fuck ton of years to get to.
Yeah, it'll probably
TRAPPIST
take about 300 years to get there.
But yeah, what are the chances we start finding some life?
Very good.
Yeah.
I think if we ever get the technology or advance far enough to be able to leave our solar system in a more expedited fashion, and come back to Earth, because that's key. That's the key. Coming back is the key. I think it's great. I really do. Because the number of planets and the number of solar systems that are out there, regardless of whether or not they're in that quote Goldilocks, zone. That's only for us humans.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I almost got like suspended from school over this shit.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I was in high school, and my science teacher was going off, and she was saying like, yeah, there are planets, but like, we probably won't find life on these other. There's probably no other life in the universe because these other planets aren't hospitable because there's no water or the climate or whatever. I was like, yeah, maybe there's not like human life, but maybe there's like Martian life that doesn't need water. Maybe water is a bad thing and they just need like a dry, arid climate. And she just kept arguing with me. She was like, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying. A human being could not like evolve on Mars. I understand. But how do you know that there's not like a fucking golem or a dragon that's just chilling on Mars right now? She's like, because she just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And it got really fucking heated.
Yeah.
I would not cede. And I was getting so passionate that I had to go and be taken to the principal's office. And the principal sits me down and he's like, so what seems to be the problem? And I'm like, this bitch says that there's no aliens. And he's like, well, scientific research doesn't back it up. I'm like, fuck scientific research, man. This is real life. I'm like, there are questions that you and the fucking top leading scientists of the world don't have the answers to. I'm like, you got to cede at some point and say, I don't actually know. Maybe there is life. You can't just tell me no. And I fucking fought. And he was like, if this is going to continue to be a problem, maybe you need to stay out of school for a few weeks. I'm like, maybe I fucking do. Maybe I need to fucking bounce because you guys are fucking psychopaths. All in all, I decided to take the hit and I took a detention.
There you go.
But I was like, you know what? I'll swallow that pill and I'll be right.
Well, I mean, it's a problem, but it's not a problem. It's understandable. The major, obviously our only frame of reference right now is Earth.
Yeah.
So everything any other planet that we study, we use Earth as a reference.
Yeah.
Like we're studying Mars, so we're going, how does water interact with other things on Mars?
Yeah.
So then we look at like the Mojave Desert or something and we're like, okay, because that's the closest climate we have to Mars, or any other place on Earth that would resemble the red planet, and be like, how does something interact here? We study it and then go, oh, then it might interact like that on Mars.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like every planet is different. Just because it acts this way, like there are some things I understand. There's a universal law on some things.
Yeah,
like
there's laws of physics.
But there's a limit to some of those things. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, oh, just because it acted this way on Earth, it's going to act the same way over here.
Exactly.
No. It's like that. Whatever that was over there, it may be the same, like water is water, but just because it's water here doesn't make it water the same way we look at it over there.
Yeah. It's such a crazy thing. And I mean, just looking at the universe itself. Now, the universe is just expansive.
It's massive.
It's
endless. It just is.
Yeah, it just is. It's such a crazy thing to think. I can't even really comprehend the size of space. I don't like. It's been years since I've done this, but when I was younger, I used to just like walk out and look at the sky. And
just look up.
Yeah, and
I do that every night.
Just be like, what the fuck?
Just go outside for about 10 minutes and just look up.
Just look at a star.
Yeah,
just one star, and just think about like how far away it is. How it's surrounded by endless space of a void of nothing.
And then think about how we are surrounded by endless space and nothing.
Yeah, and we're just spinning on this little blue ball, getting existential.
Yeah.
Thinking about our size and relation, everything else.
Well, I think with that, we're going to close out the show here.
Wrap it up. This has been our show. Thank you so much for listening. This was our special Aliens Only episode. Nice little respite from the world around. As always,
look at the worlds outside.
Yeah, as always, you can find our show on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher. It would help us out dearly if you would subscribe and rate and review our shows. Leave a comment. Do anything.
And please, if you see us on Facebook, share. Please share our page.
Share our episodes.
Share our posts.
Grow
any little bit helps.
And if you would like to write into us, you can do so at dishgodscast.com. There is a form, or you can just straight up email us at dishgodshow@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. We would love to interact, drop a little bit of fan love on the show, maybe carve out a little segment for you guys. But please just let's start building a little community here. So you can find us on all those platforms, and we will see you guys next week. As always, I'm Max.
And I am Little Bear.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.